Okay, it's the 25th of November. 25th of November, it's a Monday. Gonna get to the charts in a bit. Just check the sound. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. All right, we've got about 30 minutes to the New York Open. We're going to take a look at the chart and see if we have any opportunities for today. Um, okay, a few things before we start. Let's look at the calendar for this week. So, it's a short week. It's a 3-day week. Thursday is Thanksgiving and Friday is Thanksgiving weekend. So, there's not going to be much volume, at least during the New York session on those 2 days. There might be, there might not be. It's uncertain. So it's best not to trade these 2 days, right? On Thursday and Friday, at least during the New York session. So it's a short week. So just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today we've got no news at all. Tuesday we've got some news. Wednesday we've got some news, but these news events are not going to do anything to price. They're not major news events that I consider that will bring a lot of volume to move price, right? The major news events that I consider um, that I do consider is NFP, CPI, PPI, retail sales, FOMC, and the interest rates. Okay, these are the main news events that do move the gold prices during the New York session. The others really don't do much. So I regard this as a I would consider this as a no news week and a short week, right? Also, we're coming to the end of the month. This is the last week of the month, so we might not have a lot of volume during the NY session, especially today, and I'll explain that in a bit. Okay, let's get to the chart. Um, okay, just a second. I don't expect a lot to happen today, and I'll explain why that is. Right, so today the market opened, and in the Asian session we had a massive drop, and we've dropped about 630 plus pips today already. Okay, now there could be many explanations to that, but in terms of the technicals, it's pretty straightforward. We reached a level of supply, that's daily supply. You have a rally and a base and a clean drop, and that's where price came to. It's exactly at 2700 and 2715. You would have seen these levels all throughout the last few weeks on my chart. So 2700, 2715, these have been there for uh, probably over a month or even longer. So 2700 is a psychological number. 2715 is a weekly resistance level. We tapped it on Friday, and with the Asian session open, we dropped 600 pips, right? From there, and that level is exactly at a daily supply. And if you look at here, there is daily support right there, and that's the reason for this line here, 2715. So we tapped into that line, 2715, and we dropped. Okay, so I mean, people might have different reasons for the drop, might have different explanations, but in terms of technicals, it's pretty obvious. There's daily support right there. It's an old support level. It's also at weekly resistance to 715, and we have daily supply right here, right? Rally, base, drop, and price reach there, and we're dropping now from there, right? We could drop further. We could drop further, but we've already moved 630 pips for today, over 630 pips for today. So, hence why I said we might not have a move today because price is exhausted, right? It's exhausted because it's been moving since the Asian session, so we might slow down during the New York session. And also there is no news today during the New York session. Okay, so let's go to our trading chart. And before we draw our zones, our H4 supply demand zones for the session, let's recap what happened on Friday, the zones that we drew, and if those zones are valid, and if there were potential trades from them. Okay. I do a recap every day before we start drawing our zones. Okay. So this was the zone that we had drawn, an H4 demand zone. The price was ranging, and I said if price does come here, I'll be looking to take a trade. That was the entry that I had given, 2688.82, and we did touch it, and we did fly up, right? We moved about 230 pips. I did catch some of that right from here. Yeah, I did catch some of that once this M15 candle closed. I waited for the pullback to touch this optimal level 2688.97 or 2688.8, and that's why I took my entry. I'd given out this entry as well on Friday, 2688.8. The reason for that line there is because it was a M15 demand level right here. You can see a rally. These are all base-in candles, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 base-in candles, and then the rally. So rally, base, rally, or the leg in, base, leg out. Okay, so you can see this level 2688.92, 2688.82, and I said stop loss would be under this candle. So if you watch Friday's stream, it's very clear. I said this. If you watch the last 30 minutes, I think, of Friday's stream, that should be sufficient. I said the stop loss would be under this candle, and price did not come there, right? So we dropped in about 30 pips, 30, 35, about 38 pips, and then we just flew up about 230 pips in the New York session, and then we ranged after that, and then price reached supply and we dropped. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of all these lines. Just a second. Okay. Yeah, let's get rid of everything. Okay, that should be good. Let's get rid of this as well. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so we got a clean chart right now. Okay, that's better. We got a clean chart. These are my labels. Okay, so we got a clean chart. Let's look at our demand levels first. Okay, so there is demand right there. We have a drop and we have a rally, right? So there's also H4 support that's been created, and now there is a demand level there. We're going to look at it on the 1 hour time frame to look for that basing candle, but that level is off a previous level here. So as you can see, this level here is what created that level, right? This level that we had drawn on Friday, that's the one that created this, but price did break below and then close back above, and we're pushing up. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame and look for that zone. So we do have a zone here. So all basing candles. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take all of this, right? So that's the leg in, and that's a basing candle. That's the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. These are all basing candles because all happens inside a range, and then the move out. This is the leg out candle. Okay, so the close of that, let's put these numbers down: 397 and 826. 397, 826. Yeah. Okay. So that's the closest demand level that we have. Let's just bring this here. Okay. So let's extend this to the right. That's from Friday, from what we had drawn on Friday. That's a rally, 3 base in candles here and a rally, right? Leg in, base, leg out. And that's the high liquidity zone candle in that zone. Let's extend all of that, right? You can see how this was drawn on Friday. I'm going to just move these labels across. I'm not going to re-explain that to save time. Okay, now let's look at supply. We have a supply level right here. We have a base and a drop. So this is a rally. This is the rally, and these are base in candles, 2 base in candles and drop. We had a huge gap here, right? So price closed here, opened right here. So that's where price closed, and that's where price opened. So we had a 230 pip gap that was instantly filled because price went back up and then came down, right? So the move down was intentional, obviously. This was not just some fundamentals trying to move price down, but the move down was intentional. I'll explain that when we go down to the lower time frames. I'll explain what that means. So we have a rally, 2 base in candles and a drop here. Let's mark that out. Yeah, so that's the high, 138,225. 138,225. Okay. All right. So rally, 2 base in candles and a drop. Now, this again, this supply is created because of this supply right here. Right? This is a very clear supply zone. You have a drop, base drop. We had drawn this on Friday, and I said price would come into that, and it did. We tapped 2715. I said there will be a reaction there, 2715, before we continue higher, and we did tap into that, and we dropped 600 pips. Okay, so from there, yeah, that's a 560 pips. Sorry, not 600, 560 pips. We dropped from there from 2715. Now, while we were dropping, we did create, before we dropped, we create a supply zone, and then we dropped. Okay. So currently price is bearish. At the moment, price is bearish. We've got a big drop, and price is coming back into that area to retest that area. Let's see if we can get there. We've got that's about 99 pips away. So that's the closest H4 supply zone. Now, that's 300 pips away. Let's do 40 pips away. I think that should cover. Let's draw this supply. We're going to redraw this supply because price hasn't broken through it yet, right? So if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see that price came into it. So that zone is about a 269 pip zone. We've come more than 50% of the way into it. So that much of the zone is still left. Okay. So this high is 374. This high is 138. 3741. Okay, that should be good. I don't see price pushing up another 500 pips today. Up, I don't see that happening. So that should cover our supply area. And here we've got ourselves covered up to here. So that's a 400 pip drop if it does happen, but it's not going to happen today because price has moved 631 pips already today. So price is pretty exhausted right now. Okay, now that we've got our supply and our demand zone, H4 supply, H4 demand zone, let's take a look at, let's see which of these are high liquidity zones and which are not. So the one below is already high liquidity zone. This was established on Friday. Let's take a look at the one above. We'll have to go to the 1 hour time frame for that. Has this broken any supply to the left? So there was H1 supply right here, right? You can see a drop, a base, and a drop, and this move broke that. So this is a high liquidity zone. So let's put that label right there. Spin this across. Is this a high liquidity zone? Let me just save this. Okay. Yes, it did. It is a high liquidity zone. It did take out. So there was demand right here. You can see a drop, a base, and a rally, and this move down took out that, right? There was also demand here, a rally, 3 basin candles and a rally, and this move down took out that. There was demand right here as well, right? You can see this rally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles and a rally. The move down took out that. So it's taken multiple demand levels. So that is a high liquidity zone. So I'm not expecting price to go through that. That's not going to happen. We're going to get a reaction here. If price does come back to this area, we're going to get a reaction for price to move back down again, right? That's a very strong supply level that we created. It's taken out multiple demand levels on the way down. Yeah, the one above, let's just look at the one above as well. Okay, so this was um, a high liquidity level because it did take out the supply. This move down took out these demand levels on the left, so it took out all of that. As you can see, this demand was taken out. Right, there was demand right here, rally, base, rally. This was taken out by this move down, so that was a high liquidity zone. But now price has come deep into it. So let's just see how much price has come into. So the original zone was about 270 pips, right? 270 pips. Price has come in 143. Yeah, so we've crossed the 50% mark. We've crossed the 50% mark of that zone, this candle, right? So once price crosses the 50% mark, I don't consider it a high liquidity zone, right? Even though it could hold price and pause price a bit there on its way up, I don't consider it a high liquidity zone anymore. But this one is a high liquidity zone, right? So let's just go back to clean this area up. Okay. Okay, so that's, yeah, so we got about 15 minutes left for the NY Open. Generally speaking, these are zones for today. That's supply, that's an area that I want to sell from, and that's demand, and that's demand, and these are areas that I would be looking to buy from if you do get there, right? But keep in mind what I said, prices moved 630 pips today. We might not get a move today in the NY session, okay? There might not be the trade today, and it's also Monday. So it's low volume Monday. Price has already made a move, so it could be a low volume New York session. It could be a low volume Monday during the New York session. Okay, so price is midway right now. We're probably at the halfway point between supply and demand. If price does come up, where could we get a reaction? Okay, we need to find a liquidity candle. That's a 164 pip candle. Sorry. And that's a 121. Okay, so this candle is the largest candle in that range. Let's drop down to the 30-minute time frame and see if that changes. It's still this candle, 112 pips. That's smaller. It's obviously smaller. 95, and that's smaller. So this candle right here. So I'm going to mark that candle out, and we'll probably refine it a little further. 1113, 998. 1113, 998. Okay. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Yeah, it's still that candle. Okay, it's still that candle, and price failed to get up to that candle. We created supply and we dropped. Ideal. And the candle starts exactly at 2700, which is a psychological round number. Perfect. Okay, just look at the 5-minute. Yeah, and the 5-minute also, it's this candle. Right, so this is perfect. Okay, I'm just going to put a line there. 315. Put a mark there. 315 on the 15-minute. I'm going to mark this area. This close 114, open 128. 114. Okay. Okay. Right. Save this again. Okay. So if we do come up, I don't think we might. That's about 200 pips away. If you do come up, these are the areas, right, that I'm going to be having my eye on to take sells in this high liquidity candle. That's a M15 high liquidity candle. So if I do take a trade, stops will be above that candle, and I'll be looking to take a trade down. Okay. Now we're also very close to demand. Let's look, and that is a high liquidity zone. Let's see if price does come down there first before it heads up. Where could we possibly get a reaction? That's 92 pip candle with a liquidity wick, 52 pip wick. That's a 60 pip wick. That's also a liquidity wick. Just go down to the 30-minute. This candle is outside, 87. It's the 15-minute. Okay, so there is nothing here to hold price, right? This is just nothing. There's nothing. There is no liquidity candle anywhere here. Starting from here onwards all the way up here, there is no liquidity at all. Okay, and what time? That's the 8. Yeah, that's a London session. So nothing during the London session. There are no orders coming in to hold price, to push back price up anywhere here. Below this is a liquidity wick, 64 pip. That's where price could come to. Let's mark that candle right there. 476826. 476826. Okay. Let's go back to the 30-minute. Yeah, that's good. Let's go to the 5-minute. Check that area. Yeah. This candle right here. 56 pip candle. This candle right here. Yeah, nothing else. That's the largest. 50, 56, 46. Yeah, this candle as high as 491. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward now. Price is in between, nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do. If we come here, I want to see a reaction. I want to see a touch and an M15 bull candle close in my direction to take buys coming way up here, to come up here. If we come up here, in the next 2 hours, right? I want to see a touch of 2700. 1 second. Yeah, I want to see a touch of, wait a minute, 95. Yeah, I want to see a touch. There is no top wick here. Yeah, no top wick. So if you do come, we're going to break this high. So I want to see a touch of above, price touch above 2700, and then a bearish candle or a bearish engulfing candle or a bearish pin bar to signal that price is heading down, right? And if then the stop loss would be above this candle here, right? To come back to this demand, right? So that's a 270 pip drop, yeah, 200, or even probably even low up to here. That's about a 350 pip drop. Okay, if you do it. So right now here, nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do. Either the price needs to come here for me to be interested in looking for a buy, or price needs to come to this light red area for me to be interested in looking for a sell. Either the light green area or the light red area. That's it. In between that, nothing to do today. As simple as that. And that's the purpose of doing analysis and doing the prep work 30 minutes before the NY session opens to draw your zones, and then just wait for price to get there and wait for to see your entry, to see some sort of a candle that confirms your entry. Well, that can be anything, right? There are different traders who use different entry methods, different entry systems. They use support resistance, the break of support, the break of resistance, the formation of support, the formation of resistance. There are breakout traders, there are pullback traders, whatever that you want. But you draw your zones and then you wait at those zones. You don't just chase price, right? Let price do whatever it wants to do today. In the next 2 hours, if price doesn't come here to either this light red area or light green area, for me, there is no trade, right? For me personally, there is no trade. Those are the only two areas that I'm interested in, either looking for sells or looking for buys. Okay. Yeah. We've got no top wick here as well, so price can easily break this up, head further up. No top wick, no top wick, right? None of these candles have top wicks. This, this. So very likely could head up, but we don't know where it's going to head up from. Is it going to head up from here? Is it going to come further down and head up? We don't know that, and that is why you don't trade in the middle. At least me, I trade at the extremes because I want a low risk, high reward, high probability entry. And these areas offer the lowest risk possible because my stop loss, I know exactly where my stop loss is going to be. I know where I'm going to enter. I'm going to enter somewhere inside this light red area to take a trade down to this dark green area or the light green area, right? To hold, probably take partials here and hold it until we get here. Or if I do enter here, then look to take a trade going back up to this dark red area, right? Okay, and now you just wait. And it's very likely that in the next 2 hours, price does not move to either of these areas because price is exhausted at the moment. We've moved a lot. We've moved 630 pips just in the Asian session. In a single session, we moved 630 pips. Okay, let me show you that drop from daily supply and from 27115, right? So 2715, yeah, so that's the Asian session. That's the Asian session start, maybe around there at the open of that candle, right there. And look at that drop, 600 pip drop. Just the Asian session. This is all inside the Asian session. This high and this low is all inside the Asian session. In the London session, this is the London session. This is where the London session started. Right? This is the London low. And this is the London high. That's the low, that's the high. Price did not do anything in the London session. It just ranged, moved just 100 pips, and just ranged at this, stopped at this weekly resistance or weekly support, weekly SR level, right? So that was the move, a 600 pip move. Price is exhausted, was exhausted, so it did not move during the London session at all. Just been ranging, and we've closed above 2674 again, and we're trying to push up, but there's no volume. So we have to wait for price to get to either one of these extremes. Okay. Okay, this is the NY Open. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. It's gonna take a while. I'll be back in a few minutes. Gonna have to probably wait for a very long time. This price is 160 pips away from where I would like to take a buy, and 190 pips away from where I would like to take a sell. So it's got a lot of waiting. If not, probably no trade today if it doesn't get to either of those areas. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, price is not doing anything so far. It's best is what I usually do, is to put an alert here, right? So if it's this is the area that you want to trade, or whatever area that you're looking to trade from, take sells or buys from, and if you just have price, not doing anything, not moving much, then it's best to put an alert, right, at this area. So maybe around 2699, 2699.50, 2699.5. You put an alert and wait for price to get there. And if it does get there, you'll get alerted. You can come to the chart, have a look at it, see if your setup is forming, whatever entry method that you're using. Sorry, I use a fairly simple entry method, which I've shown on these live streams several times over. I wait for a touch of this liquidity candle. I call this a liquidity candle because that's the candle, the largest candle in this high liquidity zone of this H4 supply zone. That's the candle that I believe that has liquidity to drive price down, or to hold price, to stop price, to pause price, for price to react. That's the candle that will do that. Once it breaks that, the area is clear. Basically, price can just move straight up, right? The rest of the candles doesn't have liquidity. It's common sense, right? So that's the largest candle in that area. If that candle can't hold price and push price down, then how can the other candles do that, right? It's obvious. So if price breaks this high, then we're going right through this area to the next liquidity zone, which is that, okay? So above that is a good 106, 110 pips. So that should, once you break this high, we're heading up. So if price is to reverse or react or hold or pull back, this is the area that is going to hold price. This liquidity candle right here. This is M15 candle. That's the same candle that you see on the M30 as well, right? That's the same candle. So that's the candle. So if that's the candle, then you got to wait for price to get there. So you can put a alert at around 2699.5. Wait for price to get there. Touch that area. Once it touches it, I want to see an M15 bear candle close in my direction. An M15 bear candle. So I'm not going to just place pending orders here. Um, you can place a pending order 2701.14 and 2703.15 and put your stop loss above that and wait. But what I would like to see some confirmation. So I would like to see price come, touch that area, then M15 bear candle close in my direction, and then take the trade. Then open my sell order and then take a trade for price to come down, right? The same goes for the buys as well. Not I can easily find a M5 demand zone here. So if you go down to the M5 time frame, it's very likely that you'll find a demand zone right here. There you go. That's a demand zone right there. A rally, base rally, right? So the open there is 473, 473, and there's a demand here as well. Drop, base rally. So the close there is 089. Right? Again, I won't be placing any pending orders here because I want to see how price reacts when it gets there. So it's the same thing. On the M15 time frame, I want to see price come, touch this area, the light green area, and then a bull candle close in my direction for me to take a trade going up, right? So again, you can set an alert around 2665, around 2665, set an alert and wait for price to get there. Once it gets there, it'll give you an alert on your mobile or your email, and then you come to the chart and have a look at it and see if you have your setup formed to take a buy to go up. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of waiting. So probably be here for another 15 minutes. I don't see price moving to these areas, at least maybe not even today. Maybe it won't move today. to these areas, because price has moved 630 pips today. So even if it does get to those areas, how much volume do you think price has to continue another 200-300 pips? It won't. So even if it does get to these areas, it might not have volume to continue down. So if it does get to the demand level, this light green area, or to this light red area, the pink area here, the move might come in the Asian session tomorrow. Right? So that's a long time from now. We've got about 8.5 hours for the daily candle to close. So we might close a doji today. We might close a doji below 2700, right? That's an indication. If you have a doji below 2700, that's an indication that price could be pushing down back to 2674. So yeah, it's pointless trying to take a trade today after such a large move has happened. Yeah, so I'll be here for 15 minutes more and then I'm going to call it a day. I'll have my alerts set up. If we get there, I'll come to the chart and have a look at it. I doubt that's going to happen, but that's what I would do on a day like today. All right? Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so as expected, there's nothing happening. We're just ranging still in this area. We've neither reached supply, we've neither reached H4 supply, neither have we reached H4 demand. We're just ranging in this area. So there's nothing to do. And I expect the first couple of hours of the NY Open is going to be like this because of the massive move that's already happened in the Asian session. Also, as I said at the beginning of the session, remember that this is the last week of the month. It could be a low volume week during the NY session. It's a short week. We just got 3 trading days this week. Then we got Thanksgiving and then Thanksgiving weekend on Friday, Saturday, Friday. So yeah, so it might probably be very quiet this week. Okay, so the main thing to take out from this session, this stream, is how I did my analysis, how I drew my zones, and what I look for, right? So it's identifying H4 supply and H4 demand zones for the New York session, to trade the session, and then out of those zones, identify which ones are high liquidity zones and which ones are not, right? A high liquidity zone is a zone that has, or HLZ is a zone that has taken out an opposing demand zone. So if it's a HLZ supply zone, then that should have taken out opposing demand zone. So if you watch the first 30 minutes of the stream, you'll understand how I identified these HLZ levels, right? And then inside that HLZ's level, find a liquidity candle, right? That's a liquidity candle, a high liquidity candle, right there. That's a liquidity wick, right? This candle here, right here, there's a liquidity wick. None of these can hold price, can push price up. None of these candles right here can push price up. So if price is going to push up, if this high liquidity zone is going to hold, if this H4 demand zone is going to hold and push price up, it's going to be in this area right here, right? If this H4 supply zone, which is a fairly large zone, a 280 to 290 pip zone, if this zone is going to push price down, it's going to be from this candle right here, right? So it's very important to learn how to identify them, and then you put your alerts, and then you wait for price to get there. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream now because I don't believe price is going to get there in the next hour and a half. It's going to take a long time, probably Asian session, it might get there. So you can put an alert and wait for price to get there, and then come to the chart and see if you have an entry. Okay. All right. So I'll be back here tomorrow. Same analysis. Draw the zones and wait to see if price get to those zones so that we can take a trade from. Okay. See you guys tomorrow.